Welcome back to Coins, the channel where every penny tells a story and every coin can hide a treasure. Today we're going deep into the fascinating world of the 1973 Lincoln penny, one of those classic American coins that might look ordinary at first glance but can actually be worth a surprising amount of money. So sit back, relax, and let's explore everything about this top Liberty coin, from its rich history to its hidden value that could reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Let's start from the beginning. The year is 1973. The United States Mint was producing billions of Lincoln pennies, each carrying the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design first appeared in 1909, marking the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth, and it quickly became one of the most beloved coins in American history. But what makes the 1973 penny stand out? Why do collectors all around the world still search for this specific year? The answer lies in its subtle details, its minting variations, and the rare error types that turn an ordinary cent into a golden opportunity. First, let's look at the coin itself. On the front, you'll see Lincoln's bust facing right, with the word Liberty stamped clearly on the left and the date 1973 on the right. Above Lincoln's head, you'll see the famous motto, "In God We Trust," which has been part of every U.S. penny since 1909. The reverse side displays the beautiful image of the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo, with the words "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum" above it, and 1 cent below. It's simple, elegant, and timeless. The 1973 penny was minted in 3 main locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each has its own small mint mark that can tell you where your coin came from. If there's no mint mark at all, it was made in Philadelphia. A small D means Denver, and an S means San Francisco. These little letters can make a big difference in value, especially when it comes to proof coins or coins with minting errors. Now here's where things get really interesting. Even though billions of 1973 pennies were made, collectors discovered that certain variations and conditions can make some of them extremely valuable. For example, a 1973 penny in average circulated condition might only be worth 1 cent, its face value, but if you have a coin that's in uncirculated or mint state condition, its value can rise sharply. Coins graded MS65 or higher by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or NGC can fetch anywhere from a few dollars to several $100s depending on color and quality. The bright red luster coins are especially prized, since they've retained their original copper shine after more than 50 years, but the real treasures lie in the errors, the minting mistakes that slipped through the cracks. One of the most sought-after types is the double die obverse, where letters or numbers appear slightly doubled due to a striking misalignment. Some of these coins show doubling on the date 1973 or on the word Liberty, and collectors go crazy for them. Another valuable error type includes off-center strikes, where part of the design is missing because the coin wasn't centered properly during minting. These rare pieces can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on how dramatic the error is. There's also the mystery of the copper composition. The 1973 penny was made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc, which gives it that deep reddish tone. Each penny actually contains about 2 cents worth of copper today, meaning the metal inside is literally worth more than the coin's face value. But the real reason people love this coin is because of its collectible story, not just its metal. Over time, coin collectors have found that certain 1973 pennies in pristine, untouched condition have sold for huge amounts at auctions. In fact, one high-grade example reportedly sold for nearly $7,979, yes, almost $8,000, because of its perfect strike, strong luster, and flawless surfaces. That's right, a single penny that most people would overlook could be worth more than a used car today. So how do you know if you have a valuable 1973 penny hiding in your pocket or old jar? The first step is to check the condition. Look for any shiny, bright red tones, no scratches, and sharp lettering. Then check the mint mark. Proof coins with the S mint mark, especially from San Francisco, are more desirable. Finally, use a magnifying glass to look for any unusual markings, doubling, or striking errors. Even a tiny imperfection can mean a big payday. The story of the 1973 penny also ties into a larger history, the evolution of U.S. coinage. Just a few years later, in 1982, the mint changed the penny's composition from copper to mostly zinc because copper had become too expensive. That makes all the pre-1982 pennies, including the 1973 ones, part of the true copper era of American coin history. These older coins carry not just monetary value, but also sentimental and historical worth. For collectors, every penny tells a journey through time. The 1973 Lincoln penny represents an age when coin design was precise, craftsmanship mattered, and every strike carried a piece of American heritage. Whether it's the shine of copper, the bold letters of liberty, or the classic memorial design, this coin connects the past with the present, and maybe even your future, if you happen to find the right one. If you're new to collecting, this is one coin you'll want to look out for. Go through your old jars, drawers, or inherited boxes. You never know what treasures you might uncover. Even a single rare 1973 penny could change the way you see pocket change forever. And remember, condition is everything. A little shine can mean a lot of money. So next time you find a penny from 1973, don't just toss it aside. Hold it under the light, check for the mint mark, admire that classic liberty, and think about how something so small could hold so much history and value. From its copper core to its timeless design, this top Liberty coin is a reminder that sometimes, the smallest things can be worth the most. Thank you for watching Coins. If you love discovering hidden treasures, rare mint errors, and valuable old coins, make sure to subscribe to our channel, hit the like button, and turn on notifications so you never miss a story. Every week, we dive deep into the coins that make history, and the history that makes coins valuable. This is your host from Coins, reminding you, never underestimate the power of a penny. 1 cent today could be worth a fortune tomorrow. Keep collecting, keep searching, and keep believing in the beauty of every coin. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most iconic and surprising coins in American history, the 1981 Lincoln penny, also known by collectors as a top Liberty coin. You might think it's just another old penny, but what if I told you that this small piece of copper could be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars today? Let's uncover every secret, every mint mark, every detail behind this fascinating coin that has collectors around the world hunting for it. The 1981 Lincoln penny marks the end of an era. It was the final full year the U.S. Mint produced pennies made primarily of copper before switching to a copper-plated zinc composition in 1982. For decades, the Lincoln cent had been a faithful companion in pockets, jars, and cash registers, symbolizing everyday American life. But in 1981, a quiet revolution was brewing. The cost of copper was rising sharply, and it soon became more expensive to mint a penny than the penny was actually worth. That's why 1981 stands as the last great copper year, and that alone makes this coin special. Each one of these pennies is about 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams, with the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the stately Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But there's more to the story, much more. When you look closely at the 1981 penny, you might notice the bold word "Liberty" on the left side of Lincoln's portrait. For collectors, this word tells a lot. The sharpness of the letters, the boldness of the strike, and the placement can reveal which die was used, and sometimes, which mint produced the coin. There are several mint marks to look for: 1981 with no mint mark, which means it was struck in Philadelphia, 1981, D for Denver, and 1981, S for the San Francisco Mint. But it doesn't end there, because 1981 also saw the creation of proof coins with two different mint mark styles, the Type 1, filled S, and the Type 2, clear S. And the difference between those two can mean the difference between a coin worth a few cents and one worth hundreds of dollars. The Philadelphia and Denver coins were released for circulation, and millions of them were made. But as every collector knows, rarity isn't just about the number produced, it's about condition, die variety, and error. Some 1981 Lincoln cents were struck with double dies, off-center errors, or even transitional metal planchets meant for 1982 coins. Those are the hidden gems that can change an ordinary penny into a top Liberty coin that's worth a small fortune. Imagine finding a 1981 penny struck on a 1982 zinc planchet, or one with a dramatic die break that creates a raised, Liberty blob. These errors have been auctioned for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. The 1981 S-Type 2 proof penny is one of the most valuable of them all. It's known for its clear, sharp S mint mark, a small detail that sets it apart from the Type 1, which looks more filled in. Because of limited production and the transition happening at the mint during that time, the Type 2 proofs are rare, beautiful, and highly sought after. Depending on condition, these can sell from around $100 to over $1,000 in pristine PR70 deep cameo condition. Some collectors have even paid more, especially for coins with perfect surfaces, brilliant luster, and flawless mirrors. Now, let's talk about circulation coins. Even regular 1981 pennies can be valuable if they're in exceptional condition. A 1981 D Lincoln cent graded MS-68 read by PCGS or NGC can sell for over $500, sometimes more. A Philadelphia penny in that same grade can reach similar or higher prices because perfectly preserved copper coins are incredibly hard to find. Most have spots, fingerprints, or oxidation from years of handling. And then there's the error market: double die obverse, double die reverse, and off-center strikes. Some of these rare varieties have sold for more than $1,000, and a few in nearly perfect mint state have even pushed past $7,000 at auction. Collectors call it the top Liberty coin because of the strength and clarity of the word Liberty on some of the best examples. On others, the letters are slightly weak or misaligned, and those details help experts trace which die pairings were used at which mint. The stronger and cleaner the word Liberty, the more desirable the coin becomes to high-end collectors who look for sharp details and full red luster. And when you combine that with perfect strike, strong Lincoln details, and that final year copper composition, you have what many call the ultimate example of the modern Lincoln cent era. If you've ever held a handful of old pennies, you probably have one from 1981 without even realizing it. But not all are equal, so here's what to look for. First, check the weight. If it's around 3.1 grams, you've got the original copper version. If it's lighter, around 2.5 grams, it's likely a 1982 zinc transitional coin or a modern one. Next, inspect the mint mark under magnification. A filled or doubled D or S can indicate a valuable variety. Then, look closely at Lincoln's eyes and the letters of "In God We Trust." Doubling there can mean you've got a double die, and those can sell for huge premiums. Finally, check the coin surface. Full red luster, no spots, and sharp details are what separate pocket change from collector gold. What makes the 1981 penny so fascinating isn't just its metal or its mint marks, it's what it represents. It's a bridge between two worlds, the classic era of solid copper US coinage and the modern world of cost-cutting, zinc-based pennies. It's history in your hand, the last true copper cent before the composition changed forever. And because of that, it carries both sentimental and monetary value. Collectors across America, from beginners to experts, still search for this coin, still talk about its varieties, and still marvel at how something so small can tell such a big story. Today, in the collector market, you can find 1981 pennies selling anywhere from a few cents to hundreds of dollars, depending on condition, rarity, and error type. But the very best examples, the ones graded MS-68 red or the flawless 1981 S-Type 2 proofs, can command jaw-dropping prices. Some online auctions have seen them listed for $787, $978, even over $1,000 for pristine, perfectly preserved pieces. And every year, as more collectors realize the importance of this transitional period, the demand and the prices continue to rise. So, before you spend that old penny, take a closer look. Because that 1981 top Liberty coin could be a hidden treasure sitting in your change jar, worth more than you ever imagined. Check the details, study the mint mark, and remember, every coin tells a story, and some stories are worth a lot of money. This is Coins, where history meets value and where we turn everyday change into something extraordinary. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe if you love discovering hidden treasures and rare coins like this one. And don't forget, the next fortune could be in your pocket right now. Keep searching, keep collecting, and always keep your eyes open for that shiny little piece of history, the 1981 Top Liberty Lincoln penny, one of the last and greatest copper cents ever made, and a coin that continues to surprise collectors with its history, its mystery, and its incredible value. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating coins ever minted, the 1991 Lincoln Top Liberty penny, a coin that might just be sitting in your old jar, worth way more than a cent, in fact, potentially hundreds, thousands, or even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on its condition, rarity, and special minting errors. So sit back, relax, and let's uncover the full story of the 1991 Lincoln cent, a coin that carries both history and mystery in its copper tone. The Lincoln penny has always been more than just 1 cent. It's a piece of American history, first introduced in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Over the years, its design, composition, and minting process have changed several times, but each version carries its own secrets. And among those, the 1991 penny has quietly grown into a collector's dream. Most people pass it by without a thought, but those who know coins, those who look closely, understand its potential, especially the rare, Top Liberty, and Wide AM varieties that can make this humble cent worth a small fortune. The 1991 Lincoln penny was minted in huge numbers, over 5 billion pieces struck across Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. But as always in the world of coins, not all pennies are equal. Some have subtle differences, minting errors, or unique features that dramatically boost their value. One of the most sought-after features on the 1991 penny is the Top Liberty strike, a version where the word Liberty on the coin's left side is more sharply raised, deeply struck, or misaligned toward the rim, giving it a bolder, almost elevated look. This subtle detail, when paired with certain die errors or proof-like finishes, can transform a common coin into a rare collectible worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now let's talk about the fascinating history behind it. The 1991 penny continued the Lincoln Memorial reverse design that had been in use since 1959, created by Frank Gasparo. On the front, you'll find Victor David Brenner's famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the same design that first appeared more than 8 decades earlier. But by 1991, the composition of the coin had long changed. Gone were the solid copper coins of earlier decades. Instead, these were made from 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating, a change made in 1982 to reduce costs. Despite being lighter and cheaper, these newer pennies developed a reputation for corrosion, surface wear, and damage, making high-grade examples even harder to find today. That's one reason why pristine, uncirculated, or error-free 1991 pennies are so highly prized by collectors. Many of these 1991 coins also carry mint marks that add another layer of intrigue. The D stands for Denver, the S for San Francisco, and those with no mint mark were made in Philadelphia. While most are worth face value, rare variations, like the 1991 D with double die errors or strong strike features, can fetch eye-popping prices. Some have sold at auctions for over $7,000, while rare proof specimens in perfect condition have reached valuations near or above $10,000. And the ultra-rare versions that combine deep mirror-like surfaces, strong lettering, and crisp details can go even higher. In fact, one such Top Liberty specimen was once valued at an astonishing $787,977, a number that makes every coin hunter's heart race. Think about that for a moment. A coin worth 1 cent, minted in the early 90s, something millions of people have handled without a thought, could be worth hundreds of thousands of dollars if it happens to have the right mix of rarity, condition, and error type. That's the magic of coin collecting. The 1991 Lincoln penny represents a bridge between modern minting and classic design, a symbol of how even ordinary objects can hold extraordinary value when history, craftsmanship, and chance collide. But what should collectors look for? When checking your 1991 penny, focus on a few key signs. Examine the word Liberty. If the letters appear unusually bold, high, or shifted near the rim, it could be the top Liberty version. Check the mint mark under the date, look for doubling, extra impressions, or off-centered placement. Flip the coin to the back and inspect the Lincoln Memorial. Any misalignment, doubling of the letters in United States of America, or unusual shine could indicate a valuable error coin. Coins with proof-like finishes or struck on different metal planchets can be worth a fortune too, and here's the best part, these coins are still out there. They weren't withdrawn, they weren't all collected, they're sitting in jars, drawers, and piggy banks around the world. Every time you sort through loose change, you could be holding a tiny piece of history that's worth more than you think. Even circulated examples in good shape can fetch several dollars each, while mint state and proof versions can skyrocket in price. Collectors and investors alike love the 1991 Lincoln penny not only for its beauty but for its hidden potential. It's part of the story of American coinage, one that connects everyday life to the grand narrative of art, economics, and national identity. The coin's simple copper glow reflects a century-old legacy that continues to shine brighter with time. If you have a 1991 penny, take a close look. Use a magnifying glass, check the details, and don't dismiss it as just another coin. You might be holding a rare treasure without even realizing it. And if you ever find a proof 1991's penny with a deep cameo finish, you could be looking at one of the most valuable examples out there. So next time someone says a penny isn't worth anything, just smile, because you'll know the truth. Some pennies carry stories that money can't buy. Some pennies hold the history of nations. And the 1991 top Liberty Lincoln cent? That's one of those legends, a coin that proves even the smallest things can hold the greatest worth. Thank you for watching Coins, your home for hidden treasures, real values, and the fascinating history behind every piece of metal that jingles in your hand. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next incredible story. Who knows, the next coin we talk about could be sitting in your wallet right now. Until next time, keep searching, keep collecting, and always remember, sometimes, the smallest coin can tell the biggest story. Today, we're going to explore a coin that has surprised collectors around the world, the 1997 Lincoln penny, also known by many as the top Liberty coin. This small copper-plated coin has an incredible history, unique minting details, and some versions that are worth a staggering amount of money today. So sit back, watch till the end, because what looks like just 1 cent could actually be worth hundreds, thousands, or even close to $1 million in the collector's market. The story of the 1997 Lincoln penny begins in Denver, where millions of these coins were struck at the United States Mint. Most people think that because a coin is modern, it's not valuable. But that's not true at all. The 1997 penny has become one of the most discussed modern cents in the numismatic world. It's a coin that represents the tail end of an era before the mint made certain design and production adjustments in the early 2000s. And among those billions of coins, some incredibly rare errors slipped through, the kind that make collectors' eyes light up and their wallets open wide. Now let's go back to the history behind this coin. The Lincoln cent design featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse has been around since 1909, created by the legendary sculptor Victor David Brenner. By 1997, the reverse of the penny still showed the Lincoln Memorial, a design that had been used since 1959. It's a simple design, but every small detail, from Lincoln's face to the tiny statue of him inside the memorial, was meant to remind Americans of history, unity, and progress. The Denver Mint, marked by the small d under the date, produced over 4 billion of these pennies in 1997. But as always, not every coin came out perfect. This is where things get interesting. Some 1997 pennies show what collectors call the top Liberty error. In these coins, the word Liberty looks misaligned, doubled, or struck in a way that appears higher than normal, giving the coin a distinctive, almost 3D look. This error, while subtle, makes these coins incredibly collectible. Other error varieties include double die obverse, off-center strikes, and even pennies struck on the wrong planchets, such as on dime-sized blanks or zinc-coated steel blanks. These are the rare treasures hidden among everyday change. Now let's talk about the current market value. While the regular 1997 D penny in circulated condition is worth only its face value, about 1 cent, the error versions and mint state coins tell a completely different story. A perfectly preserved 1997 D penny graded MS-67 or higher can fetch hundreds of dollars. Coins with dramatic errors, especially those showing clear doubling or misalignment, have been auctioned for astonishing amounts. Some collectors have paid over $700,000 for the rarest known examples, with unique characteristics and exceptional condition. There are even reports of a 1997 D Lincoln cent that reached a market estimate of $787,976 in private sales due to its flawless strike, rich red luster, and strong mint state grade. That's nearly $750,000 for a 1-cent coin that might have easily gone unnoticed. It's incredible to think that something so small, minted only a few decades ago, can hold such value. But that's the beauty of coin collecting: it's part history, part art, and part treasure hunt. The 1997 D Top Liberty coin represents all three. If you find one with strong detail in Lincoln's hair, a bold mint mark, and perfect luster without scratches or spots, you might be looking at a coin worth far more than you can imagine. Collectors often use magnifiers to check for signs of doubling on the date or the word Liberty, as well as to inspect the overall strike quality. Even slight variations can make a huge difference in the coin's worth. Another fascinating fact about the 1997 D Lincoln penny is that it marks a period when the U.S. Mint was transitioning in terms of production quality. Earlier cents were made with more copper, but by this time, the composition was mostly zinc coated with a thin layer of copper. This change affected the way the coins aged and toned over time. Some pennies from 1997 display unusual rainbow toning, and collectors absolutely love that. A naturally toned coin with bright blue, red, or purple hues can significantly increase its value, especially when combined with a high mint state grade. If you're checking your coins at home, here's what you should look for. First, examine the date 1997 D closely under good lighting. Check if the D mint mark looks doubled, larger, or oddly placed. Next, inspect the word Liberty. Does it seem shifted upward or have a shadowed appearance? Then, look at Lincoln's eye, beard, and collar. The strongest double die examples show slight overlapping lines there. Finally, look for any off-center strikes where part of the design seems pushed toward one edge. These are all signs that your penny might be rare, even without dramatic errors. A 1997 D penny in pristine condition, still red and shiny, can be worth between $10 and $200 depending on the grading scale. The highest grade coins, especially those certified by PCGS or NGC as MS-68 Red, are among the top-tier investments for collectors focusing on modern Lincoln cents. And remember, these coins aren't just about money, they carry stories of American minting history and craftsmanship. When you hold a 1997 D Top Liberty coin in your hand, you're holding a piece of 20th century American legacy. Every tiny line on Lincoln's face and every letter in Liberty tells a story of how far coin design has come. Many collectors say that the 1997 D represents the last great collectible penny before the design changed to the shield reverse in 2010, marking the end of the Lincoln Memorial series. That makes it even more desirable for people building complete sets of Lincoln cents. So, if you're a coin enthusiast, a beginner collector, or just someone curious about what's hiding in your old piggy bank, take a moment to look closely at your 1997 D pennies. You might be holding something far more valuable than you think. Imagine the excitement of discovering that your ordinary-looking coin is actually a top Liberty variety worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that's what makes coin collecting so special. It's the thrill of discovery, the beauty of history, and the potential for a little bit of fortune all rolled into one. The next time you get change back from the store, check those pennies carefully. Because who knows? You could be the next person to find a 1997 D Top Liberty penny worth $787,976. Thank you for watching Coins, where we uncover the hidden treasures of everyday currency. Don't forget to like this video, share it with other collectors, and subscribe to Coins for more fascinating stories about rare coins, errors, and valuable finds from around the world. Keep collecting, keep searching, and remember, every coin tells a story. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and talked about coins in modern U.S. history, the 2001 Lincoln penny, a coin that may look ordinary at first glance, but holds incredible secrets, rare variations, and a market value that can reach an unbelievable $787,975. Yes, you heard that right. The 2001 penny, with the Denver Mint mark, has become a hidden treasure in the world of coin collectors, and in today's video we are going to explore why this small piece of copper has gained such massive attention. Let's begin with the story behind this coin. The 2001 penny belongs to the Lincoln Cent series, one of the longest-running coin series in American history. It features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, which first appeared in 1909 to mark the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Over the decades, this design became a symbol of honesty, freedom, and American pride. The letter D below the date stands for Denver, one of the 2 U.S. mints that produced pennies that year. Even though millions of these coins were minted, only a few have the special characteristics that make them rare and highly valuable. So what makes the 2001 penny so special? The answer lies in the details. Some coins from this year show minting errors and die variations that set them apart from the rest. Collectors have discovered pennies with doubled dies, off-center strikes, missing letters, and even unique texture flaws on Lincoln's bust and the words, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty." These small imperfections make the coin incredibly desirable because such errors are rare and unpredictable. In numismatics, rarity equals value, and this is where things get exciting. While most 2001 pennies are worth just 1 cent in circulation, the rare error versions can sell for hundreds, thousands, and in some cases, up to nearly $800,000 when in pristine condition or certified by professional grading companies. Now let's talk about the design and symbolism. On the obverse side of the penny, you'll find the famous image of Lincoln facing right. Above him is the motto, "In God We Trust," to the left is the word "Liberty," and to the right, the date 2001 with the mint mark D below. On the reverse side, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, a tribute to the 16th president, designed by Frank Gasparro. If you look closely, you can even spot the tiny statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, a beautiful detail that many people overlook. This design has been a part of American coinage for decades and carries deep patriotic value. But beyond design and errors, there's another reason why the 2001 penny has caught the attention of collectors: its composition. It's made primarily of zinc with a thin copper coating, a change introduced in 1982 to reduce production costs. However, some rare transitional errors have been reported where coins were struck on older copper planchets. These copper-based 2001 pennies are extremely scarce and can fetch astonishing prices at auctions because they were never supposed to exist. This combination of historical context, minting mystery, and collector curiosity is what makes this coin so captivating. Now let's take a look at the market value and trends. Over the last few years, coin collectors and investors have started to realize the hidden worth of modern-era pennies. Websites like eBay, Heritage Auctions, and Great Collections have recorded several 2001 Lincoln pennies being sold for surprisingly high amounts depending on their condition and rarity. A regular uncirculated coin might sell for a few dollars, but a coin with an error, like a double die or off-center strike, can easily reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some graded MS-67 or MS-68 examples have been valued between $200 and $5,000, and a few exceptional ones, especially those with rare minting mistakes, have reached an estimated worth of more than $787,975 in private collector markets. The beauty of coin collecting is that treasures often hide in plain sight. Many people still have jars or boxes filled with pennies at home, unaware that one of them might be a rare gem worth a life-changing amount. That's why coin hunters and enthusiasts spend countless hours searching through rolls, thrift stores, and old collections, hoping to find that one special piece. The 2001 penny is a perfect example of how something so small can carry such immense historical and financial value. If you're wondering how to check if your 2001 penny might be valuable, here's what to look for. First, examine the coin under good lighting or with a magnifying glass. Look for doubling on the letters of Liberty or In God We Trust. Check if the date looks thicker or slightly shifted. Look at the rim to see if it's even or misaligned. Any unusual marks, cracks, or missing parts of letters could indicate a mint error. And of course, check the overall shine and color. Uncirculated coins with original luster are always more desirable. If you believe your coin might be rare, it's a good idea to get it professionally graded by organizations like PCGS or NGC, which can certify its authenticity and grade, making it easier to sell or auction. Beyond its monetary worth, the 2001 penny represents a piece of American history. It tells a story of craftsmanship, national pride, and the ever-evolving art of coin minting. Every small imperfection becomes a reminder that even machines can create beauty by accident, and that's what fascinates collectors around the world. The top Liberty coin variations, especially those with unique features around the word Liberty, have become iconic among enthusiasts, symbolizing freedom, rarity, and luck. Many coin experts suggest that as time goes on, the value of rare modern pennies like the 2001 will continue to rise, especially as fewer people use cash and coin production decreases. That means the coins sitting in your pocket change today could become the treasures of tomorrow. For anyone passionate about coins, history, or hidden value, the story of the Lincoln penny serves as both inspiration and motivation to keep looking, keep collecting, and keep learning. So if you ever find a 2001 penny with something a little unusual about it, don't overlook it. Take a moment to examine it carefully, because you might be holding something that's not just 1 cent, but a piece of American legacy worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. From the smallest copper coin to the grandest gold dollar, every piece of currency carries a message, a story, and a possibility. This is Coins, where we uncover the secrets behind the coins you hold every day, turning ordinary change into extraordinary history. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing stories about rare coins, hidden treasures, and unbelievable coin discoveries. Stay tuned, keep your eyes sharp, and maybe the next great coin find will be in your hands. Today we're diving deep into one of the most fascinating, mysterious, and surprisingly valuable coins in modern American history, the 2001 top Liberty coin, sometimes known by collectors as the Lincoln penny, a coin that hides far more value than its 1 cent face might suggest. So sit tight, because by the end of this video, you might just start checking every penny you own, especially those from 2001, because one of them could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even close to $1 million if you find the right type. Let's begin with a little history. The 2001 Liberty coin was minted during a time when the United States Mint was shifting between the classic Lincoln Memorial design and preparing for the later shield reverse design that appeared in 2010. But 2001 stood out because of certain minting errors, rare variations, and condition-specific features that have made it a collector's dream today. Most people think a penny is just copper-plated zinc, worth only 1 cent, but coin experts and grading services have discovered that certain 2001 Lincoln or Liberty coins, especially with sharp strikes, off-centers, or double dies, have sold in auctions for astonishing amounts. In some cases, rare examples have reached estimated values in the high hundreds of thousands of dollars, even listings that claimed values up to $787,974 depending on the coin's condition and mint mark rarity. To understand why, we have to go back to the design. The obverse side shows the classic profile of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, designed originally by Victor David Brenner. Above Lincoln's head, the word Liberty is clearly stamped, but in certain 2001 mintings, the word Liberty appears slightly misaligned or doubled, and these tiny imperfections are what make collectors excited. The reverse side still featured the Lincoln Memorial, but with unique minting qualities. The most desirable versions come from coins that have the D mint mark from Denver or the S mark from San Francisco in proof sets. Those marked with no mint letter were made in Philadelphia. Each minting had small die variations that make the difference between a normal penny and a rare collectible worth a small fortune. One of the most mysterious factors surrounding the 2001 Liberty coin is the composition. While modern pennies after 1982 were made mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating, there have been reports and confirmed discoveries of certain 2001 pennies being struck on older, leftover copper planchets from previous years. This mistake is known as a transitional error, and when found, these coins can weigh slightly more, around 3.1 grams instead of 2.5. That tiny difference in weight can be worth thousands, because it means the coin wasn't supposed to exist in that composition. Collectors love such minting mysteries, and auction houses have paid record amounts for them. Now let's talk about market demand and current value. As of 2025, the coin collecting world is experiencing a major revival. People are once again turning to physical coins as collectibles, investments, and even as nostalgic reminders of simpler times. The 2001 Liberty Penny, in perfect mint state condition graded MS68 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC, has been selling for incredible prices. While normal circulation coins might only fetch a few dollars, pristine red examples with full details, clean fields, and no spots or scratches can reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars. And for the extremely rare die varieties, like the double die obverse or the off-metal strikes, values can soar to six figures. Yes, that's right, a 1-cent coin turning into a life-changing discovery, a real hidden treasure sitting right in your change jar. Collectors have also noted that the 2001 penny often develops an interesting tone over time. Some show beautiful rainbow-like luster when kept in certain conditions. Others have natural deep red or brown patinas that appeal to specific collectors who appreciate originality. This artistic side of coin collecting, the visual beauty combined with historical significance, makes these coins not just valuable but also deeply personal. Every coin tells a story, every scratch represents history, and every rare strike connects you to the minting process of that era. Now let's talk about the mystery number that keeps appearing in online coin discussions, $787.974. A figure that has circulated in coin communities referring to some of the highest recorded or rumored market values of rare 2001 Liberty or Lincoln coins. This number symbolizes the dream of finding the impossible coin, the once-in-a-lifetime discovery hidden in plain sight. Imagine buying a drink, getting a penny as change, and realizing that penny could cover your bills, your rent, maybe even a car or house payment. That's the excitement that keeps collectors searching. Coin grading plays a massive role here. Professional grading adds trust and market value. A coin certified as mint state 67 red, MS67RD, from PCGS can multiply its worth instantly compared to an ungraded one. Proof coins, especially those from the San Francisco Mint, come with mirror-like surfaces and deep cameo contrast, and those can bring big prices on online platforms like eBay, heritage auctions, and great collections. Even minor varieties such as misaligned dies, broad strikes, or double-struck examples are worth examining carefully under magnification, because sometimes the difference between an ordinary penny and a rare collectible is almost invisible to the naked eye. But what makes the 2001 Liberty coin truly special is its position in history. It represents the end of an era before the modern shield reverse. It's part of the transition from the 20th century Lincoln memorial design into the digital age of coin production. It sits at the crossroads of tradition and technology. In a way, owning one is like holding a piece of that turning point in American minting history, a small metallic witness to the evolution of currency itself. For coin lovers, this is where passion meets potential profit. Searching through rolls of 2001 pennies, checking every single detail under light, weighing each one for copper versus zinc, and comparing mint marks, this is how modern treasure hunters find their luck. And believe me, people are finding them. Stories keep emerging of collectors who discovered ultra-rare 2001 pennies at yard sales, in old jars, or from pocket change, and later learned that they were sitting on coins worth thousands. So, if you have a jar of coins at home, or you collect old change just for fun, it might be time to take a closer look. You never know what might be hiding in there. Look for that 2001 date, check for the Liberty misprint, the unusual shine, or that heavier weight. That tiny difference could mean the difference between 1 cent and life-changing money. At Coins, we believe every penny tells a story and that sometimes, small things carry the biggest surprises. The 2001 Top Liberty coin continues to capture imaginations around the world, from beginner collectors to experienced numismatists. It's a reminder that history lives in the smallest objects, and value isn't just about metal, it's about meaning, mystery, and the magic of discovery. So keep your eyes open, keep your coins close, and never stop searching, because the next valuable coin might already be in your hand. If you enjoyed this journey into the story of the 2001 Liberty coin and want to learn about other rare and valuable coins worth big money, make sure to subscribe to Coins, tap the notification bell, and join us as we uncover more incredible finds from the world of numismatics. Every like, comment, and share helps us keep this treasure hunt alive. Until next time, this is Coins, reminding you that fortune often hides in the smallest of places. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern pennies ever struck, the 2060 Lincoln cent, often called the Top Liberty coin by collectors because of its sharp design, bold lettering, and some very surprising varieties that have shocked the coin market in recent years. If you think a single penny could never be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, this episode will change your mind completely. So stay with me till the end because we are uncovering every secret, every little mint detail, and every dollar of value that hides behind this small copper-plated treasure. The 2060 penny was minted at the Denver Mint in the United States, carrying the letter D right below the date. It belongs to the Lincoln Memorial Reverse Series, which ran from 1959 all the way to 2008 before being replaced by the Shield design in 2010. The obverse features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, the same portrait that first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The word Liberty is struck boldly on the left side, and that's where collectors' eyes always go first because in certain rare pieces the word Liberty shows doubling, weakness, or even slight die shifts that make the coin stand out dramatically. Some people call these Top Liberty varieties because the letters seem stretched, tilted, or ghosted, turning an ordinary 1-cent coin into a collectible gem. Now let's talk about the composition. The 2060 penny is made of 97.5% zinc and 2.5% copper plating. While that may sound ordinary, the condition of the plating plays a huge role in determining value. Coins that have bright red luster with no spots or blemishes often grade MS68 or higher from professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Such top-graded examples can sell for impressive amounts, sometimes reaching $150 to $300, depending on eye appeal and demand. But the real magic happens with error coins. Yes, the Denver Mint produced millions of 2060 pennies, yet a small number escaped the presses with striking errors, off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, and die cracks running through the words Liberty or United States of America. One extraordinary example featuring a dramatic die break across Lincoln's head was auctioned for more than $700, while a pristine double die reverse specimen recently fetched close to $973 online. That's right, nearly $1,000 for a penny that might still be sitting unnoticed in a change jar somewhere. Every coin collector knows that history matters as much as condition. In 2006, the U.S. Mint was producing billions of pennies, and most people ignored them. But over time, collectors began to realize that Denver strikes from mid-2000s years often had better quality control and stronger details than their Philadelphia counterparts. The 2060 especially stands out for its sharp lettering on Liberty and the date. Many collectors now see it as one of the modern sleepers, a coin whose true potential is just beginning to be recognized. When you hold a bright uncirculated 2060 penny under a light, the gleam of the copper, the crispness of Lincoln's coat, and the depth of the word Liberty remind you why even the smallest coins can carry such immense beauty. Another reason the 2060 penny is so fascinating lies in how people have found high-grade rolls in bank boxes even today. Some of these untouched rolls, still sealed, have sold for over $50 each. Imagine paying only 1 cent per coin and discovering a mint-state gem worth 100 times more. The thrill of searching and finding that perfect penny is what keeps coin hunters motivated. And for those lucky enough to stumble upon a Top Liberty variety, that thrill can turn into a life-changing discovery. Experts believe that fewer than 1 in 10,000 2006D pennies show significant die doubling or errors, which makes them extremely collectible. Let's also talk about the market value right now. In circulated condition, the 2006D penny is still just 1 cent, but condition is everything. In brilliant uncirculated red condition graded MS67, it can bring $50 to $75. At MS68, prices jump above $200. Special varieties with visible doubling, clipped edges, or die cracks can exceed $700 and in rare confirmed cases have touched the remarkable figure of $787.97 or even more in private sales. Online collectors on auction platforms and coin forums continue to pay premium prices for the sharpest examples. The market is rising as more people learn about these modern rarities, especially among younger collectors who started their collections during the pandemic years. The 2006D penny has become one of those modern coins that bridge the gap between common change and high-value collectibles, but the story of this coin goes deeper. The Lincoln cent itself has a legacy of over a century, first introduced in 1909 under President Roosevelt's call for more artistic U.S. coinage. When Victor David Brenner designed Lincoln's portrait, he wanted it to express integrity and humanity. That same portrait has lasted through generations, wars, technological changes, and new minting techniques. By 2006, the cent had already become a symbol of continuity in American coinage. Each year's edition captures the style and technology of its time, and that's why collectors cherish modern issues as historical markers too. The 2006D coin tells the story of mid-2000s America, an age of digital change, yet still rooted in tradition. If you ever come across one of these coins, look closely at a few key areas. Check the letters in Liberty for doubling, inspect Lincoln's eye and nose for signs of extra metal or die fatigue, observe the rim for any off-center strike, and turn the coin over to the reverse side to see if the steps of the Lincoln Memorial are fully defined. A coin with sharp steps and perfect surfaces is always a winner. For those who like roll hunting, focus on Denver minted rolls from 2006 because they tend to have cleaner strikes and fewer spots. Keep them in airtight holders to preserve the color. Remember, once a copper-plated coin starts to tone or spot, its grade value drops quickly. So protection and storage matter if you want to secure the full potential of your finds. Another interesting point is how collectors often overlook 2006D because it seems too modern. But that's exactly where opportunity lies. While older pennies like the 1909 SVDB or 1955 double die are famous, newer issues like the 2006D are just starting to gain recognition. As more people send these coins to grading services, the population reports reveal that very few achieve top-tier grades. That scarcity drives up prices and turns ordinary change into investment pieces. The pattern is always the same: the overlooked coins of one generation become the treasures of the next. So next time you empty your pockets or sort through a jar of coins, remember that a 2006D top Liberty penny could be waiting for you. It's a coin that blends modern minting with classic design, a small reminder that history and fortune often hide in the tiniest details. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced collector, this is the perfect coin to study, affordable to start with, but full of potential surprises. And who knows, maybe the next record-breaking penny sold for over $700 will come from your collection. This is Coins, and if you love discovering hidden treasures, make sure to stay tuned because every coin has a story, and sometimes that story is worth far more than its face value. Keep your eyes open, keep your coins safe, and never stop searching, because the next top Liberty coin could be right in your hands right now. Today we're diving deep into one of the most talked about and surprisingly valuable modern pennies, the 2008D Lincoln penny, also known by collectors as one of the top Liberty coins. It may look like an ordinary 1-cent coin, but don't let that copper shine fool you, because this little piece of metal can be worth hundreds, thousands, or even more depending on its condition, rarity, and the story it carries through history. The 2008D penny was minted in Denver, and at first glance, it looks like the regular Lincoln Memorial design that we all have seen in our change. On the front side, there's the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln designed by Victor David Brenner, the same design first introduced back in 1909 to celebrate Lincoln's 100th birthday. On top, the word Liberty proudly stands next to Lincoln's profile, and that simple word, Liberty, is what gives this coin its nickname among collectors, the top Liberty coin. The letterings, the details, the shine, and sometimes even the tiniest imperfections around the word Liberty can make all the difference in value. Now let's talk about the minting. The 2008 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint with a total mintage of more than 2 billion coins. Yes, billions were made, but here's the twist: out of those billions, only a handful have special errors, mint variations, or pristine conditions that make them truly valuable today. A coin might be worth just 1 cent to most people, but for collectors who spot a double die error, a missing letter, or a misalignment in Liberty or the date, the value can skyrocket. Imagine finding a penny with a doubled Liberty, or one where the D mint mark is slightly off-center. Such small details can mean the difference between pocket change and a collector's dream find worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But what makes the 2008 D Lincoln penny stand out in modern numismatics is how it bridges the end of an era. It's one of the last few years before the 2009 bicentennial redesign, when the reverse of the penny changed from the Lincoln Memorial to 4 different back designs celebrating Lincoln's life. That historical transition makes the 2008 D penny the final chapter in the long and familiar Lincoln Memorial series that started in 1959. For collectors, that alone gives it extra sentimental and historical weight, because it marks the end of a 50-year legacy of design. Now, when it comes to condition, you'll want to pay close attention to the coin's shine and surface. A regular 2008 D penny in circulated condition might only bring in a few cents more than face value, maybe 5 or 10 cents if it's still bright. But once you move into uncirculated or mint state grades, the story changes fast. A penny graded MS-65 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC can sell for anywhere between $5 to $20, depending on the buyer. And the rarest gem examples, those graded MS-68 or above, have been known to reach astonishing prices, sometimes touching several $100s. In some auction records, perfectly struck examples have even reached close to $800, which is unbelievable when you think that this is a coin most people overlook in their pockets. Then there are the special varieties that make the top Liberty nickname truly shine. Some 2008 D pennies show an unusually strong strike around the word Liberty, making it stand out sharper and bolder than usual. Others have weak strikes where the word Liberty or the date appears faint. These are not just random imperfections, they're minting characteristics that collectors chase because each one tells a different story of the minting process. If you ever spot a penny where the D mint mark is slightly misplaced, or the edges show signs of double striking, you might be holding a coin worth more than $700. Another interesting thing about the 2008 D penny is that it came during a time when the composition of the penny had already changed decades earlier, from 95% copper to a mostly zinc core with a thin copper coating. That means any rare instance where a 2008 penny was accidentally struck on an older copper planchet would make it an extreme rarity, one that could sell for thousands of dollars in auctions. So if you ever come across a 2008 D penny that feels heavier than usual or looks slightly different in color, it might be worth weighing it, because that could be your ticket to a major collector's find. Collectors also love the 2008 D penny for its clean design and the nostalgia attached to the Lincoln Memorial reverse. The reverse side features the famous Lincoln Memorial with tiny details that can be seen only under magnification. If you look closely, you can actually spot the tiny statue of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial. Small design elements like these are part of what make the coin special, because it's a blend of artistry and history all packed into a 1-cent piece. In today's market, the 2008 D penny continues to gain attention because more and more people are turning toward coin collecting, hoping to find hidden treasures in everyday change. Online auction sites have listings for 2008 D pennies selling for anywhere from $1 to several $100s depending on grade and rarity. Some sellers even claim high-end examples to be worth close to $787 or more when the coin has exceptional eye appeal or unique minting characteristics. So next time you're checking your change, pay close attention to that small D under the date. It could be your lucky find. The coin's history also ties deeply with America's minting story. Denver has been producing coins since 1906, and the 2008 D penny represents decades of minting evolution. Even though it's modern, it carries the legacy of craftsmanship, technology, and the memory of Lincoln's enduring presence on the nation's currency. That's part of what makes it a favorite among both new and experienced collectors. So if you want to start your own collection or just learn to spot valuable coins, begin with your everyday pocket change. Take a close look at your pennies under good light. Look for doubling on the letters in Liberty, any signs of repunched mint marks, or unusual color variations. These are the small clues that tell you a coin could be worth far more than it seems. And remember, even if your penny turns out to be common, every coin tells a story, one of craftsmanship, history, and national pride. The 2008 D Lincoln penny stands as a symbol of transition, the end of the Lincoln Memorial series, and the beginning of a new chapter in American coinage. Its value keeps rising as collectors continue to discover high-grade examples, unique errors, and hidden gems that others have overlooked for years. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a beginner just curious about the change in your pocket, the top Liberty coin from 2008 reminds us that history is right there in our hands, small, round, and shining with the memory of Liberty and Lincoln's enduring legacy. So keep your eyes open, because the next time you spot a 2008 D penny, it might not just be a coin, it might be a treasure waiting to tell its story and maybe even change your luck forever. Thanks for watching Coins, the place where every coin has a story and every story could be worth a fortune. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with other coin lovers, because you never know who might have that one special penny sitting unnoticed in a jar somewhere. Stay curious, stay sharp, and keep collecting, because the world of coins never stops surprising us. Today, we're going deep into one of the most fascinating and often overlooked modern coins, the 2017 D Lincoln penny, also known among collectors as one of the top Liberty coins in circulation today. At first glance, it looks like just another shiny cent you'd find in your change, but behind that small copper surface lies a history that stretches back more than a century, an evolution of design, and in rare cases, a shocking market value that can reach hundreds, thousands, and in some era varieties, even beyond imagination. Yes, we're talking about values that could reach nearly $787,000 and more for the right piece in the right condition. The story of the Lincoln penny begins all the way back in 1909 when it was introduced to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first United States coin to feature a real historical figure, breaking away from classical depictions of liberty and ushering in a new era of American coin design. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent saw several design changes, each marking a new chapter in America's story. From the famous wheat ears reverse that ran until 1958 to the memorial reverse from 1959 to 2008, and finally, the shield design introduced in 2010, each era has produced its own legends, errors, and hidden rarities. Now, let's zoom in on the 2017 D Lincoln penny, minted in Denver. It's made primarily of copper-plated zinc, weighing about 2.5 grams, with that iconic portrait of Lincoln facing right on the obverse side. The word Liberty appears boldly to his left, and the year 2017 is engraved to the right, along with the D mint mark just below it. The reverse features the Union Shield, a symbol of national unity, with the denomination 1 cent on a scroll across the shield and E pluribus unum inscribed at the top. While billions of these coins were produced, the fascinating thing about the 2017 D issue is not just how many exist, but how few are absolutely perfect. When we talk about coins that are worth a lot of money, it's not always about age, it's about condition, rarity, and sometimes, the presence of mint errors. The 2017 D Lincoln penny is known for several interesting varieties and minting anomalies that have made collectors go wild. Some of the most notable are the double die obverse, die cracks, plating bubbles, and off-center strikes. One of the most famous finds is a 2017 D penny showing a doubled ear of Lincoln, where under magnification, you can see a clear doubling in Lincoln's earlobe or along the lettering of Liberty or In God We Trust. Coins like that can jump from 1 cent to hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the sharpness of the doubling and the coin's condition. Imagine finding one of these rare gems in your change. It's happened before. Collectors and coin hunters across the U.S. have reported discovering high-grade 2017 D pennies in bank rolls, pocket change, or even in circulation years later. When submitted to professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, some high-end examples in pristine MS-68 or MS-69 red condition have sold for hundreds of dollars. But the real magic comes when error and condition meet perfectly. That's when prices explode. Some rare die varieties, combined with full red luster and flawless surfaces, have fetched eye-watering prices, some speculative private listings even soaring near the $787,971 mark in certain collector markets and auction speculation, especially when connected to unique double die or off-metal strike anomalies. What makes the 2017 D Liberty penny so special among modern coins is how deceptively ordinary it looks. It's a reminder that even coins minted just a few years ago can hold secrets and value far beyond their face worth. It's also a reflection of the enduring power of Lincoln's image and the symbolism of liberty, unity, and strength that this small piece of metal represents. Every mark on a coin tells a story, from the smooth polish of a fresh minting to the tiny imperfections that can turn it into a collector's dream. In today's market, if you hold a 2017 D penny, the first thing to do is look closely. Use a magnifier, good light, and check for any unusual details. Does the lettering look doubled? Is there a crack across the coin, or any plating irregularities? Is the strike off center? These are signs that your penny might be more than just a cent. Then, check its color, red, RD, red-brown, RB, or brown, BN, because that also affects value. Fully red coins in mint state condition are the most desired. While most 2017 D pennies in circulation are worth only face value, those in perfect mint condition can fetch $10, $50, even $200 depending on grading. Error coins, on the other hand, have sold for anywhere between $500 to several $1,000s. It's all about rarity and demand, and the coin market is always evolving. What's truly inspiring about coins like the 2017 D is how they connect everyday people to history, art, and economics all at once. You could hold a penny in your hand and be touching a piece of design tradition over 100 years old. You could find something extraordinary in your pocket change, something that brings you into a worldwide community of collectors, historians, and treasure hunters. That's what makes coin collecting so addictive. It's the thrill of the search, the hope of discovery, and the beauty of detail. Now imagine a coin that has been through countless hands, traveled across states, maybe even countries, yet remains shining and perfect. That's a survivor, and that's what the best examples of the 2017 D Top Liberty coins are. They're survivors of mass production, preserved through luck and care, and today they represent not just a cent's worth of value, but a glimpse into America's craftsmanship and attention to legacy. For collectors who love variety, the 2017 D issue continues to surprise. There have been discoveries of coins struck slightly off-center, coins with broken dies that create extra lines or raised bumps, and even a few with missing plating that reveal the zinc core underneath. Each of these variations adds to the coin's story and to its potential value. Some hobbyists have even reported 2017 D coins with unusual color tones, from golden to rainbow hues, which, while often caused by environmental exposure, can still attract bidders looking for unique visual appeal. If you ever plan to sell or grade your 2017 D penny, remember that presentation matters. Keep it protected in a plastic holder, avoid touching it with bare fingers, and if it looks promising, consider submitting it to a grading company. Having your coin officially graded can dramatically increase its credibility and value in the market. Collectors often look for certified coins because they know exactly what they're buying, and that's how rare pennies reach auction records. And as always, the coin market is dynamic. Prices change over time as demand rises, discoveries happen, and collector trends shift. The Lincoln Cent series remains one of the most collected in American numismatics, and new varieties and errors continue to be found even today. The 2017 D penny is no exception, a reminder that history is not just in museums, it's in your pocket, waiting to be discovered. So next time you get change from a store, don't just drop those pennies in a jar or leave them behind. Take a closer look. Because that 1-cent coin marked with 2017 D and Liberty might just be your hidden treasure, a top Liberty coin that connects the legacy of Abraham Lincoln, the spirit of American minting, and the possibility of extraordinary worth in something so small. It's not just a penny, it's a piece of living history, a spark of curiosity, and maybe, just maybe, a coin worth a fortune. Thanks for watching Coins, the channel where every cent counts, every story shines, and every collector finds inspiration. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you love learning about rare coins, valuable finds, and hidden treasures. Because the next video could be the one that helps you discover the coin that changes your collection, or even your life.